I don't know what happened there, but the video literally just stopped. Why did the video stop? I'm going to try that again because the video just stopped.
I've nothing.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Armoury, and I'm joined by my good buddy that side. Yeah, cheers, Tony. Now I've got the all wrong that side. Tony, how are you, mate?
Not bad,
You that
not
good?
bad at all, mate. Obviously, still buzzing after the other day. Top of the league, 5 points clear, going into Christmas. We're gonna have a merry Christmas. So I'm happy, you know. As much as I don't like the fact that the World Cup is actually starting now, but it is what it is. So I'm actually starting to look forward to it now. I think.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think.
not. I can't stand it. Honestly, I hate it. I hate the fact that the football that I'm used to is being paused for something that I'm not 100%
Yeah.
agreeing with. The World Cup, I agree with. It's the other stuff.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Just want to say big up to Ozzy Goon. I know you're going to sleep now. Big up to King and big up to Luke. I think Tony's having connection issues because he's like. But we are here to talk about our 10 participants in the World Cup. And I have done a little PowerPoint because I'm nerdy, just to go through them all. So we're going to start with Matt Turner. Right, obviously he's playing the USA. Obviously they're playing England as well. Now, Matt Turner, do you feel he's going to be the first choice goalkeeper? I don't think he is, personally. That's just me.
I would be very surprised. I'm sure there's other goalkeepers out there that have had the minutes that will be good enough to play for the USA side. I don't know, given that he plays for Arsenal, it's like he hasn't been playing, but well, no, saying that he has missed the last couple of games that he should have been playing. So, yeah, I'd actually be very surprised. I've not really looked at the USA squad, if I'm completely honest. I don't know who would be the first choice goalkeeper. You'd probably know better than what I would, but I'd be very surprised if he doesn't end up starting.
I think that they do alternate him around, so he's either first or second choice normally. This is what Moss has told me because obviously Moss, big American sports fan.
North American, yeah.
Yeah. So well, I'm on about LMS. So yeah, yeah. So I think he could be. I'm going to go with a no. I'm going to go with you no here. But okay. So how far do we think that the USA can actually make it?
I think they could potentially finish second in our group to England.
Okay.
I mean, look, I think you look at our group. England should be the ones that top the group. You could make a case for any three of the other teams, though. For me, I think you could literally pick straws. You know, USA, they're an experienced World Cup team. They know what it takes. But then, so Iran and Wales are quite strong. So, you know, they're as strong as the other two teams. So I wouldn't be surprised if any one of them finish second in our group, or even cause an upset.
Yeah, well, King's just put a comment there saying it could be Sack Stefan, but as far as I'm aware, Sack Stefan wasn't picked. No, he's not. It's so the three goalkeepers. No, as far as I wasn't, he wasn't picked. I've just double checked because I wasn't sure. So it's Sean Johnson who plays for New York City FC, obviously the Man City people. Luton Town's goalkeeper Horvath and Matt Turner. So he's definitely second choice to that. But yeah, Sack Stefan hasn't been picked. So he's down at Middlesbrough, isn't he? I think
that's fixed up in the old sticker book. I'm looking at the old sticker book.
Yeah, so Sack's not there. So it's basically fighting Sean, to be honest. And he is a very good goalkeeper. I will give him that. He is very good. He's never left the MLS. He should have done, but he never has. So you reckon that they're going to make the round of 16? Do you think they go further than that?
They have a chance. No, because if you look at who they'd have to face in the next round if they do finish second, it's potentially Holland, and I don't think they get past Holland.
All right, so Tony's going around 16. I'm writing these down because these are technically Tony's predictions. Even though he likes to deny his predictions when it comes to my shows, I'm writing them down.
No, if I'm in shot, yeah, that could be anybody behind the keyboard. It might not even be me.
Yeah, you blaming your son now. Is that what's happening?
I think he's far more intelligent than I am, to be honest.
Right, so that is obviously Turner done with. So now we're going into the English boys. So we've got Aaron Ramsdale in goal. Now, do you think he'll make the first team? Do you think he'll nudge Pickford out of the way? No, nor do I.
No, he won't. I think Southgate will stick with Pickford. And look, to be fair to Pickford, he's done quite well for Everton. I think he's made the most saves per game in the Premier League this season. And, you know, he tends to do well for England. And Southgate's going to have the trust in him to carry, you know, keep him as number one. Which, do you know what? I wouldn't, as an Arsenal fan and an England fan, I'm comfortable with Pickford and I'm comfortable with Ramsdale sitting on the bench.
Oh, okay. You're comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Serious?
Have
you watched Pickford?
No, listen. We've always asked the question with Pickford. You know, ever since the Euros, ever since the World Cup, in 2018 in Russia, and he done a job then. He just seems to do well for England. And look, I've got no problems. And if it means keeping Ramsdale fit and healthy, because look, after Ramsdale we've got Turner, so it's kind of I'm going with club and country with this one. I can as an England fan, I can trust Pickford. As an Arsenal fan, I'd like Ramsdale to stay clear from playing for England. So, but if he does play for England, obviously I'm going to be happy for him and I'm going to be buzzing. But yeah, I'm comfortable with Pickford, to be honest.
Well, before I ask you predictions for England, we'll get into the other two English guys because obviously we've got three. So Benjamin White, do you think he will make the first team?
No, but I think he will use White in any situation. I think if we need cover at centre back, he'll put him there. If we need cover at right back, he'll put him there. He won't start him. I honestly do think he will start with Stones and Maguire as the centre back pairing, and I do think he'll probably start with Walker or Trent at right back. Although for me, Ben White has been the best right back in the Premier League this season. I don't care what anybody says. All I hear, I've been watching and listening to podcasts and I know who should start a right back for England, who's been the better right back. And it's funny how they say during the Premier League, Ben White's been the best, but when it comes to England, we're starting Trent Alexander-Arnold. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I would start Ben White, but I don't think he will. But I would only start Ben White at right back. I don't want him starting at centre back because you're just setting him up for failure there, where he's been playing right back all season for Arsenal.
Okay, well, King's just put in there, and I will get into some of the comments in a bit. What if we went for a 3-5-2? So then Ben is the right centre back. Would you be happy with that?
I'd be comfortable with that. With Stones and Maguire, yeah, that could work. Then you'd have. So you'd put a Trent. If you're playing three at the back, you'd put a Trent at the right wing back. So yeah. I wouldn't be upset with that because Ben White can cover his backside because he's terrible when it comes to defending. So yeah. I just don't think he's going to start Ben White. I just have one of those feelings.
Okay. Obviously, Starboy, as everyone likes to call him, but I just call him Saka. Are you expecting him to be the first teamer?
He has to be. He should be one of the first names on the team sheet. He was the one that got Foden out of the team in the Euros. Made that position his own on the right hand side of the attack, and he's been doing it all season for Arsenal and before this season. He offers a lot, and it would just make sense. He does start. And I think Southgate, he's going to watch him. He's seen how he's matured, since missing that penalty in the Euros final, and he's going to be really impressed with what he's seen with him. Well, I'd like to think he would be, and I think he will be. He will be the first name on that England team sheet, along with the likes of Harry Kane, and then on the other side he'll probably start with a Sterling, won't he? Or might even start Foden on that side. You don't know, but Saka for me has to be one of the first names on that team sheet.
Yeah, right. I'm going to let you think about where you think England might go. How far?
Yeah, save that to the end.
I'm going to go into some comments. So if you ever think, because that is the final Englishman. So I feel the same as myself about World Cup. Yeah, definitely. USA last 16 at the most. Yep. Didn't know that about Sack Stefan, I'm guessing. Pickford always performs for England. I don't mind Rambo getting a rest. Rambo needs to be third choice. No, not under Pope. I think England will play. Yeah, 3-5-2. Not for me. DWTT morning, fellas and chat room. Hope you're doing well. Good afternoon to Adam. Hope you're doing well, mate. At least he's stopped hounding me to try and say that someone's going to win the Premier League. There is a case over Trippier over Trent.
Just on that Trippier comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that Trippier comment, I actually think he's going to start Trippier at left wing back if we do play the 3 at the back, or he might even actually play him at left back.
Yeah,
so that's why I didn't mention Trippier, because I think that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, he's got this thing about putting him left back. If you're a right back, you play right back. If you're a left back, play left back.
Oh, we know how you feel about it, Bobby.
It showed up yesterday in the Fulham United game. Malacia just cannot. You can't do it. I was a right back. I can't go from right to left unless you're 2-footed, which Malacia isn't. Trippier isn't that great. So I don't get it. It annoys me. Saka, Kane, Sterling.
I think it's more to do with the fact that he's handy at set pieces, so he wants to somehow get him in the team. I think that's all it is.
All right, I've got a question. Who's better at set pieces, Trippier or Trent?
Trippier.
Well, then you play Trippier over Trent. Sorted. Because Trent can't defend. So there you go. Foden has not really performed for England yet. I'm trying to think if he has, to be honest. I can't think. Can you? I can't think of anything great he's done. Win the group, knocked out by
I agree. I agree. And this is why Saka got him at the...
Yeah. You keep freezing up, bud. Trippier by far.
I'll tell you what, I'll come back out. I'll come back in. I'll come back in.
All right. So whilst we wait for Tony to come back in, let me know what you think. How far England will get in the World Cup. I want to know. Big up to Adam. Hope you're doing well there, mate. But with England, I'm just not convinced. I never am convinced. I have to be careful what I say about Southgate. But I'm not convinced with the squad. Me and Colm are doing a show, and thanks to Luke. Thanks to Luke for doing a squad as well for me to put on tonight's show at 7:30 on FTSN. Here's Tony. Tony's back now. Let's hope this is better.
Apologies for that. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better, mate. So King's going for 4th. Wow. And Adam's still trying to make me say it because you'd gone. I'm never saying it until at least March, probably April now, because I've seen our fixtures in April as well. I'm not saying it until I feel that we can. So there we go. So whilst you've had some thinking time, where do you think England can come in the World Cup?
It's a funny one. Obviously, you see me in the chat. I'm starting to get a little bit excited, thinking that we could go all the way. However, my expectations would be winning the group.
Yeah,
we then go on to play the runner-up of Group A. You look at that; it should be Senegal, even without Mane,
or Ecuador.
Or Ecuador. I mean, listen, Qatar could even surprise us. You never know. It's the thing about this World Cup. There has been really no time for any team to prepare properly. they're all travelling this week. They're all going to have a few days to get ready. So
Yeah.
I expect a few surprises along the way in this tournament. I really do. But yeah, back to England. Should win Group A. Group B. We're beating me. We then should end up playing Senegal. If it's not them, it's going to be Ecuador or Qatar. So we should really beat them, especially if there's no Mane for Senegal. If we do get Senegal, so quarterfinals would be the expectations. We'd probably end up playing like a Portugal or France, or maybe in that round. So quarterfinal, I don't even think that'd be a bad thing for England. I know obviously we reached the final of the Euros last, and then we got to semi-finals, but is quarterfinals really going to be that bad for where the World Cup's going to be and when the World Cup's going to be and how much preparation we've had? So quarterfinals for me. That's my expectation.
It'll be bad for me due to the fact someone keeps his job.
Well,
I think he'll play 3-4-3. This is who I think he'll play: Pickford, Maguire, Dyer, Stones, Trippier, Phillips, Rice, Shaw, Saka, Kane, and Foden. Yeah, that looks about his team, to be honest.
I'm just why Phillips? I'm betting him over Phillips. Phillips doesn't even deserve to be in the squad. He hasn't done anything.
No, doesn't. Adam's saying here the England friendlies worry me slightly. We're English, of course we'll win it.
Worried and confident. Okay.
Yeah, right. So we're going to move on to Tomiyasu. Obviously plays for Japan. They're in Group E, so they've got Spain, Costa Rica, Germany. Tricky.
I wouldn't say Germany quite like that. They're not the same Germany. I wouldn't say Spain like that. They're not the same Spain. Yes, granted they've got some top quality players, but I think Japan can cause some if you can call them upsets in that group. I think they've done it before with Germany. So, and obviously again, World Cup experience. Got some decent players in that Japanese. Is that Mitoma is in there as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
The for Brighton. We know about him after last week as well.
Yeah.
So I think Japan. Tomiyasu is going to start. He's going to be the first name in the team sheet. We know that he's going to play in that left centre back like he usually does for Japan. And I think he'll lead them to maybe a second place finish. I really do think Japan will go into the knockouts. At whose expense, I'm not too sure. Spain or Germany. But I do think Japan could get out of that group and then maybe go as far as the round of 16.
Round of 16. Okay. Now, obviously, we haven't answered the question about first teamer, but I'm pretty sure we both know that he's going to start.
Oh, yeah, I said to be the first name on the team sheet.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going on to my favourite player, Saliba.
I think he's probably everyone's favourite player.
Yeah.
He has been effectively a new signing for Arsenal, but we've seen what he's capable of. He broke into the France team last year whilst on loan to Marseille. They love him there. They absolutely love him. I honestly think he is currently the best centre back in Europe, and I would be very surprised if he's not one of the first names on that team sheet for France. I mean, who else is their centre got? Who can you go through their centre backs? Have you got them handy?
If you just have a think, I know one of theirs just had to pull out, so they've just had to replace one. Give me 2 seconds. I'll see if I can quickly find it.
Is Varane? He's not fit, is he? Still?
I don't think he's fit, and I don't know if he's been called up either. Let's just see if I can quickly find the team. Oh no, it looks like he's been picked though, Varane.
Yeah.
Oh come on, where is it? Here we go.
I can't imagine Varane will play the first game, even if he, I mean,
there we go. Right, so we've got Varane, Saliba, Konate, Kimpembe, but he's just pulled out. The Upper Meccano, the Bayern Munich.
Oh, yeah.
And Kunde. So to be fair, centre back wise, they're pretty strong.
They're quite strong, aren't they? They're quite youthful as well. If you think about those centre backs, and there's going to be a lot of competition for that. But for me, I mean, I think most people would agree. People watching, Saliba out of all of them has been the standout. Not just this season, but this year.
Yeah.
So I would expect him to be a starter for
Okay.
France. I mean, what's their first game is against Australia, right?
Is it? Is that why Steve backed out?
Yeah. That's probably yeah. So yeah, I think he would be a main feature in that squad. I think he will start pretty much most of it. And yeah, how far France go, I'm not too sure.
Well, that's the question.
They have been very funny. I mean, we've seen it in the Nations League how they've struggled. In the Euros, they didn't play well at all. But you look at their group. Who's in their group again? What they group?
Danish, the Tunisians, and the Australia. Yeah, I put it on the screen.
I think Denmark have beaten them. They beat them twice in the Nations League as well.
Denmark are not a pushover, that's for sure. Yeah.
They'll be the only team that really causes them any problems. Australia might give them a few things to think about. Tunisia, I mean, they're quite a handy side as well, really. So there's a potential for them to struggle. You would have to say France will win this group. They should win this group.
Yeah.
Will be between them and Denmark. So yeah, I think well, I'll go for France to win that group.
Okay.
How far they get, I'm just trying to look who they might end up playing if they was to win the group. That would be a group C, runner up, right? So yeah, look, there's a Poland or a Mexico in the next round. You'd like to think they'd get through that.
Yeah.
I would do quarterfinals for France as well. I don't think they're going to get to the final or anything like that.
Okay, let's just get into some comments so they don't start building up too far. King saying that he thinks we'll play a 3-4-3. Pickford, White, Stones, Maguire, Trippier, Bellingham, Rice, Shaw, Saka, Kane, Sterling. Yeah, another one that looks like a Gareth Southgate squad. Japan got some good ballers. Spain and Japan to qualify for King.
Yeah.
England quarterfinal at best, but I wouldn't be surprised if we got knocked out in the group stage. We've been awful since the Euros last year. We have been very bad. 4-0 to Hungary definitely sticks in my head. Saliba will most likely start. Didier loves him. Yeah, he does. King going through the centre backs there. Thanks for that, mate. Never rule out the Germans. One of their most average teams they've ever had got a World Cup final in 2002. Yeah, you can never underestimate the Germans. They've just got a certain way of performing when it needs to. France play like England, just got better players there. So poor to watch, yeah. And Colm is in the place. To answer your question, none of them, it's going to be dominated by Harry Maguire. Big up to Colm. Right, so our next player, who's my star player of the season so far, Granit Xhaka.
Mine as well. I love the story.
Yeah.
He's captain, so he's definitely going to be starting. And look, we at Arsenal this season, well, this year, since the sending off against Liverpool last season, he's become the player that we've seen for Switzerland and the player we bought from Mönchengladbach.
Yes.
Obviously, you've said that multiple times as well, and that is true. It's very, very true. They are in a very tough group, very, very tough group. I mean, look at that: Serbia, Cameroon, no pushovers, and obviously we know what Brazil have got. So I actually do think Switzerland will qualify. I do think they'll finish second in the group. I just think Switzerland have this knack of winning games. I do enjoy watching Switzerland sometimes. They're quite enjoyable to watch, and obviously with Xhaka, we're going to be watching Switzerland, again this year. I've actually got them down as one of my dark horses this year.
Really?
I do. I really do. I think I don't think these teams are going to be ready for Switzerland, even, and I'm including Brazil as well, because we've seen it before. They've got reasonably far, given the squads that they had. They have got far in tournaments, and I actually think you got to remember as well. You got to factor in that this World Cup is different. They're only going in with a few days preparation, not weeks, like you usually do in the summer. And I honestly do think that they could get as far as the quarters, maybe even a semi. I reckon they could upset a Portugal on the way.
Okay.
I really do. So note that down. I honestly think
am.
they can. That's going to be my my hot take for the World Cup. Switzerland will play Portugal and possibly beat them, and maybe even reach a semi-final. They're my
Okay. Well, Colm's here saying Cameroon is to win that group. That's Colm's theory. They did well in Euros, knocked out France. I think Brazil will win the World Cup. Well, that's not my choice personally. Right, so we are going to go into Brazil. So we're going to start with Martinelli first. First teamer or not a first teamer? That is the question.
I don't think it's he deserves to.
Yeah.
You look at the players they have on that side, notably Vinicius Junior and a Neymar, which I don't know where does Neymar play these days for Brazil? I'm not quite too sure. We all know he started as a left winger. So Martinelli's going to be one of those players. He's going to be an impact player. He's going to come on during the game. So if they're finding it tricky against the Serbia, they'll throw Martinelli on. Then he'll change the game and they'll go grab a 1-2-0 win. That's what he's going to be used for me. And as an Arsenal fan and not a fan of Brazil, I don't mind seeing.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so obviously we've got one more Brazilian before we talk about how far we think they're going to go. Jesus, starter or not a starter?
This one I'm not too sure about. I think he could. What he does at Arsenal, I think, would benefit Brazil, if I'm honest, with their wingers and they've got goal-scoring wingers as well. So it would make sense if they did start him, but I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. I think the manager is a bit of a Richarlison fan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he is. He loves Richarlison.
Hey, listen, start with Richarlison all you want. I don't care. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. And I don't think Brazil, they are one of the favourites to win the World Cup. I think the furthest they'll probably go will be a semi-final. I don't think they're final. Yeah. But I think Jesus again, like Martinelli, would be one they bring on off the bench to change the game.
Yeah, spot on. All right, before we get into our last player, which has just been announced as well. So King Reckons 1-2. Brazil, Switzerland, bench for Martinelli. Neymar either play near 10 or left wing. Martinelli needs game time in the World Cup, by far one of the best midfielders this season in the Prem, no doubt. Usually Brazil play Neymar, Richarlison, Rafinha, or Rini, Neymar 10. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't think Martinelli will get much play time, to be honest.
Nah.
And that, as an Arsenal fan, I don't care. But for him, for me to want him to do well, I hope he gets some play time just to play in the World Cup. But as an Arsenal fan, I'm being selfish. I don't want any of our players playing. All come back nice and fit, had a nice holiday, nice bit of warm weather. I don't mind that. So we're going to go into...
I mean, obviously, we've seen the level that he's playing this season, but it would probably elevate him even further if they was to have a good World Cup. Come back buzzing. Say if they did win the World Cup, they come back with that, that World Cup win under their belt. It could benefit us as well. It's just obviously keeping them fit is the main thing for us as Arsenal fans.
Yeah, well, there's obviously the reason behind the wallpaper, behind the players. Cesc Fabregas, Vieira, Petit, Mertesacker, and I did specifically cover his face, but we know who that little person is that plays in Germany there. There's a reason I covered his face. But yeah, so we've had winners at our club before, and we're going to Thomas Partey, who was just announced about half an hour ago, I think, with the Ghana team. These are my fancy team. I actually do fancy these. I don't know what it is. There's something about them that excite me.
I get it.
But he's going to be a first teamer, surely.
Oh, I mean, without a doubt, he's the leading man for that team. I mean, look, I look at the group and I can understand why. I think it's quite an open group. I honestly think any of those teams could actually win the group.
Yeah.
I've just
seen this weird comment. Respect the GOAT, Mustafi. Never am I ever going to respect him. No.
Hey, He was a goat when he first came in. Remember him and Koscielny? There was a time that we thought they were the best centre back pairing in the Premier League. Do you remember?
No, that was you. Wasn't me. I saw
Yeah,
him at Everton when he was youth. He was awful. So
I cannot confirm or deny that was me at the time. But this is about the World Cup, and this is about Thomas Partey. So we'll stick to that. Yeah, Thomas Partey. He's going to be the main man. I just worry because we all know about Partey and his injury record, and how often that he has come back plastered up from international duty. So that is, as an Arsenal fan, it's a concern. I hope he has a good World Cup because he's going to start, so I want him to play well. I'm not particularly fan of any of those other teams in their group, so Ghana would be my pick in that group. So I hope he does well. I can see why you would have them as your dark horses. They wanted to get some of that revenge on. Is it Uruguay?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, there was something going on in the World Cup previous, so they're gonna want to write that one. They can beat South Korea. The only player they have to worry about is obviously Son, and I think Portugal.
You can't say that because if Moss watches this, he's gonna not speak to you for a week.
And Portugal, well, the thing with Ronaldo going on at the moment, you just don't know what mindset he's going to be in. Obviously, he's going to want to prove a point because, again, this is probably going to be his last. Well, it's going to be his last World Cup. So, I can see them maybe getting second in this group. My pick would probably be. I don't know. I don't want to. Do you know what? I'm going to back Partey because he's going to be playing anyway. Let's go Ghana second. I think Portugal will sneak the group. I think it's going to be a very tight group. It's going to be an interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting game. I'm looking forward to seeing the games in that group. I must admit.
Yeah. So, about how far do you think they could make it though? Just around 16 for you.
I mean, look, they're the last group, aren't they? Are they the last group?
H. Yeah, Group H.
They would end up playing maybe if they finish second, like I said. I've lost my page. Hold on. They could end up playing at Brazil. Round of 16 for me. I don't think they'd get past Brazil, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah. So that's not bad. So let's just take that off the screen now. Let's get into some comments. South Korea and Portugal to go through for Colm. King saying Kostafi. Open group, I think Portugal has a shocker. And yes, Suarez cheated in the quarterfinals before. So yeah, that is all our Arsenal boys. Now, obviously, for me as an Arsenal fan, I just hope none of them come back with an injury. That's all I care about. As soon as I see any of them on a stretcher, I'm going to start to panic. What about you?
Yeah, it's one of those World Cups. It's I say one of those World Cups. It's never happened before. Where it's coming halfway through the season, not even halfway through the season yet, really. And it's going to kill a lot of momentum for most teams. As much as we enjoy a World Cup, it's just a bit weird having it in winter, halfway through a season. You don't know what's going to happen when they come back. You don't know if they're going to have injuries. But listen, it is what it is. We have to. I'm trying to get excited. I'm trying my best here. I really, really am. Because nothing can be changed, can it? I think the closer we get to it, I think there'll be a little bit of a buzz. But the thing is, where it's not warm and sunny over here, it's going to be a bit different. People blaring, with their flags out and blaring the world in motion and all that. It's different. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. Ask me next week. Obviously, this time next week we'll be playing against Iran, won't we? So, let's let's wait and see. Like you said, I just hope they come back to the Arsenal fit and ready to go, and we can just carry on with what we're doing. But yeah, there is that fear there that this is a big disruption. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, just want to say big up to Rebel. Hope you're doing well. I kind of get what he means. Hope Partey just has a nice strong tackle on Son and Suarez. And Colm is trying to be funny. Not very funny. But I'm pretty sure.
Now, be better than that.
See, the thing is, that would affect his FPL. I know him well enough. 2 of those are his FPL players. So he won't be wanting that because he chooses Martinelli and Jesus quite a lot. So he won't want that.
I don't take my FPL seriously. I done a little bit of reverse psychology this week. I made Haaland my captain in the hope they flopped.
I saw you said that.
It worked.
Yeah, I'm sure you were going for points though.
No, but listen, it only worked for that one because I had Rodrigo in my team, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to take him off, and he got 2 goals, didn't he? So, but then Spurs came back.
So you're basically you're the Ollie of watch-alongs. That's what you are.
Hey, listen, I don't care what Tottenham do because there's levels to this. I'm more worried about what Man City does.
Cole say he picks 3 of them. Right. Obviously, Tony, you can talk about what's coming up. But what I will say, I've got a watch-along coming up this Saturday, which Tony doesn't know about because I only did it last night. It's the Arsenal women versus Man United women on Saturday evening. It's a huge game. And I'm telling you why. Because they're title contenders. Arsenal are more likely to win it, but United. So, Colm, you stay out of my chat on Saturday. But yeah, it's going to be a massive game. I can't wait for that. It's going to be at the Emirates as well. So if any Arsenal fans are watching, try and get a ticket. Go and watch. Honestly, shout for the women. They deserve it. They've had a great season so far.
Fantastic. They did to Lyon in the Champions League.
Yeah. Our front 4 is looking immense.
Oh, yeah.
We've got Beth Mead, Blackstenius, Miedemeier, and we've now got Lena Hurtig on the left. It is scary. It's basically like playing the Man City front 4 at the moment. It's scary to play Arsenal front 4 for women. Cole says he's going to be there. No. But Tony, tell everyone what else is coming up on the Armoury, mate.
It's all in the works at the moment. Obviously, trying to figure out what we can do during the World Cup. We'll probably have a focus every week on each of our Arsenal players that have been played in the World Cup, and we'll even have conversations where we talk about other players that maybe we could look at going into the January transfer window, because January is going to be a massive month for Arsenal. We'll see how serious we are about the league title when it's there. And then you said you got the watch along coming on Saturday for the women's game. That's going to be massive. I think a lot of people will tune into that game as well.
I do hope so. I think it's brilliant. I love the WSL.
And then we'll have a little mid-season. I don't like it's not mid-season really, is it? But we'll have a little mid-season review at some point. I know Gumza was talking about that, so we'll leave that with him. You just stay subscribed and just keep an eye out and follow us on our socials to keep updated. And then say really.
And obviously, we have got 3 friendlies now announced as well during this period. Yeah, we've got one with Watford,
and then we've got Milan
and Lyon, as far as I know. And there is talk of a Barcelona one. I'm not sure how true that one is. There is talk of it.
The guys that have been left behind will need some games to play, and obviously we'll have the hot weather training as well, won't we? They'll be going to Dubai, so
What I would say is if we can, if they're being covered anywhere, because they could be showing them on their website. I don't know, like they have done before for friendlies. We will obviously let everyone know as well if we can.
Definitely, for sure.
King saying he hopes Senegal can be a dark horse. They could be. To be honest, I think all the African nations could be a dark horse. Not just because of
Iran's can as well. I mean, it's before.
Well, Iran are going to enjoy playing England and USA for specific other reasons.
Oh yeah,
which I don't really want to talk about, but it is there's something about that game that might be a little bit feisty. World Cup is taken.
That'd be that Iran game.
Yeah. Madison an injury doubt. As far as I know, what I heard from Leicester is that it was just a precaution. I haven't heard anything
Well, he even come out on social media that's like he's all good, you know.
Yeah, because I got told he was fine. So yeah, but I think that's it for now, isn't it? We will be back when we are back. But everyone keep subscribed.
Yeah,
Notification bell.
And you'll be first to know when we're doing something. So
yeah. And I know I'll definitely be back around the. Oh, it's going to be Christmas Eve. I've just realised it's going to be Christmas Eve for the preview for the West Ham game.
It's a good job we got knocked out that Carabao Cup because there would have been a game on the 20th or 21st. So
yeah, we would have ended up playing Charlton as well, wouldn't we? I would have thought because isn't that who
yeah.
Brighton have got? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
Yeah. But we are definitely out now, guys. All we can say is, come on, England. Come on, every nation, to be fair, that anything Arsenal related. But to be honest, let's just have a good World Cup and no issues.
Try and enjoy it. I know it's different, but it's the World
Try and
Cup.
enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take care, everyone.